Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ineffable Else, where we explore the things that are beyond our supposed comprehension, and we use the parameters that astrology affords us to explore the different planets in the different archetypes. This is the first series, and it is the Saturn series. So join me down the rabbit hole. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's help this grow and spread the word of astrology and a bit more of an introspective view on this artistic science that we have been gifted by the universe. And please comment below, do you know your Saturn placement? What sign is your Saturn in? What do you think about it now being in Aquarius? Share this video with anyone who you know who might appreciate this. Like it. Hit the notification button to receive more. Please don't hesitate to contact me for a reading via email or through any of the social media platforms which I link in the description to this video. Very excited to be here. This is my great passion, so relax and enjoy this journey with me. Saturn in Aquarius. Here we are. This is what we're in right now. Just shifted into the sign of Aquarius, and this also applies to you if you have Saturn in the 11th house or Saturn conjunct Uranus. So very beautiful place, because Saturn is about definitions and control and limitations and restrictions. But how do we define Saturn? Well, Aquarius is all about revolution and newness and innovation and technology. So when Saturn is in this sign, it's here and it's humbled, and it's like, okay, use me. It's like the mind, like not a great master, but a very good servant. So Aquarius wants to utilize this power of Saturn to create really a beautiful change for the world, something that's lasting, something that's benefiting us all. So this is about creating conscious boundaries. Nothing wrong with boundaries. You can make a wall that breaks off, separates a country in half, or you can stick up a Berlin Wall and create division. Or you can create boundaries, which means that people are not going to take your resources, and that you are going to be autonomous in yourself and not dependent on your parents, not dependent on the government, not dependent on anything else, because you have built your own arc and you're so proud of it, and it's great, and that's something you've created and manifested. There's no negative or positive archetype. It's all about how it manifests and how we utilize it. And this is why Aquarius is this very, I see it as the most practical dreamer. It takes us into a future, into a realm that we don't yet know. And from what I've observed from the universe, if we follow it and don't interrupt it with our will doing very self-detrimental things from a place of trauma and a place of lack of self-worth, but if we really believe in this thing of abundance and exponential growth, which is what I've observed, is exponential growth in nature. You don't see that with man-made things. You make a plane, it doesn't make more planes. It doesn't give birth to planes. Whereas, a cat will give birth to millions more cats. I've seen it. Just naturally, it's just nature. It just flourishes and flourishes. So if we align with that kind of thing in relation to our own human will and how we create things, then who knows what we can create. But we have to have faith. And this is what Aquarius asks of us from a very, very practical stance when Saturn is involved. This is about having groups. So it's autonomy, yes, but it's the 11th house. So this is about groups. This is about how you structure your collective into what can be really wonderful is like some energies just don't gel. They just don't work that well together. And that should be, completely accepted and fine. And we can even create communities which interact globally. And you already see this now, where you have like a village mentality And yet on a global scale, this is absolutely unprecedented. And, you know, you can watch history documentaries. The Egyptians were a very highly organized and highly spiritual civilization before us. And then there was the Silk Road anyway, connecting everybody. And before that, you know, there's the Mayans and there's all these past advanced civilizations. But I don't believe we've ever had what we've experienced in the last 20 years, 10 years, in terms of global connection. I just don't. I think this is very new. This is the Aquarian age, and that is exciting to me. And there's a lot of excitement and emotion that can be brought through with this, which is the most exciting thing for Saturn, because Saturn is not that exciting on its own. But when you have this flavor of innovation and, you know, what we can do in terms of creating boundaries, which instead of like boundary, like I'm going to box myself in more and more, it's like I'm going to create this and then this and then this. It's like a labyrinth of ideas and just, yeah, just incredible. And then like almost it's just a lack of definition, like not being able to define anything and then being okay with that. And that is how we redefine Saturn. And, you know, I've been saying, oh, you can't see Uranus with the naked eye and Saturn is the last thing you can see without needing a telescope. But now people have said, no, you can see Uranus sometimes. So these definitions and stories, they change all the time. Saturn in Aquarius is like not conforming, but creating a new container. It's not just anarchy in terms of just turning my back. You know, the true anarchists were the ones in the past who really created something new. And you can see this in Spain in the past. They really created something brand new. Schools, an education system, sharing resources, and it was much more than what the communists could achieve. And yet, I mean, you can forget all of these definitions because they all become jaded. But this is just one of those examples of where there's like a ambitious way of looking at the world and then seeing opportunities open up and not fighting against this or that, but literally just opening the new door. It's like there's a scuffle happening and you just look at it and go, cool, bye. And then you just go out the door that no one's looking at, but you've spotted it and you take advantage. You know, it's like grabbing opportunities. Entrepreneurship. Elon Musk, let's go to Mars. You know, this is it. This is the Aquarian age that we're stepping into, and Saturn is more than happy to welcome us with that and to utilize a lot of the power of discernment, which is crucial if we're going to step into the great beyond, is heightening our intuition and our capacity for reason and logic and critical thinking and looking at things objectively without a lot of emotional baggage and a lot of concepts, and being a true scientist, looking at something with completely fresh eyes, Einstein baby eyes. If we strip it again back to childhood, it represents the parents, and this will be the natural rebel as a child. You know, this is always getting in trouble at school and just not understanding responsibility in the way that it was presented at the time. You know, not understanding the rules that were in place. And this is the evolution of Saturn for all of us, but especially with Aquarius, it's about understanding what on earth all of these boundaries are so that we can break them down and make new ones. Because we live in a world of binary ones and zeros, so there is a duality aspect between matter and antimatter, so we need to kind of construct things in ways which can be utilized by humans. This is Aquarius. Aquarius is the water bearer. It has the container, has the carafe of water, and it's pouring it down onto us and into another container, essentially. Yeah, just to mention that this happened well, this is happening now until 2023. It happened between 1991 and 1994 with a few retrogrades, and it happened in the 1960s between 62 and 64. So it's very interesting when you look at these patterns, because it's every sort of 2 years with, as I say, retrogrades shifting back and forth, back and forth. I mean, this is also the position for the astrologer. So this is a great, great time for astrologers to come into their own, and also so any social media presence, because this is the collective world. I mean, obviously it was going to expand at a moment like this when everything has moved online, but specifically because of the Aquarius theme. But you can also see these unprecedented changes happening. The internet was born during the early 90s. And during the early 60s, wow, we're really, really opening up to the age of Aquarius there. And this is it. We get the flavor all the way through the ages, but you do see patterns. And that's a really wonderful thing with Saturn in Aquarius, is the ability to be able to spot the patterns and then relay that information. I see it as Uranus and Saturn relaying, like, why not form a boundary, break it down, form a boundary, break it down, that constant change and shifting. And yeah, it's the times that we're living in now, the rapid change, rapid growth. To have faith and not have a lack mentality, and then the growth can be exponential and in a positive direction. So all good things.